Salutem Senior Maintenance Feed, a high-fibre, high-protein blend aimed to maintain optimum health and condition in your senior horse or horse at maintenance work level. Salutem Senior Maintenance Feed is a readily digestible feed boasting excellent high protein levels to promote improved muscle tone lost with age and limited work, whilst the high fibre within the feed aids optimum digestion for your horse. The feed itself consists of 40% crude fibre, 22% nitrogen-free extract, 20% crude protein, 10% total ash, and 9% ether extract. This unique blend is a complementary feed and should be fed alongside forage, but as a sole concentrate source. Salutem suggests a forage such as molasses chaff or soaked hay to reduce simple sugars. Additional supplements should be added if required. The ingredients of Salutem Senior Maintenance Feed are micronized cereals, dried grass, soybean meal, limestone, sodium chloride, copper, vitamins A, D3 and E, selenium and vegetable oil.
Carbohydrates are classified by the amount of molecules they contain and are identified as either monosaccharides, disaccharides, or polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are composed of only one sugar unit. An example of this is glucose, whereas disaccharides contain 2 or 3 sugar units. An example of this is lactose. Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates with 4 or more monosaccharides joined together. Carbohydrates are a vital source of energy for the horse. Simple carbohydrates with 1 to 4 alpha linkages are important in supplying quick-release energy, whilst complex carbohydrates have beta 1 to 4 linkages, which provide slow-release energy. Glucose is an imperative carbohydrate that provides energy and is sourced from both sugar and starch. It is stored as glycogen in the muscle and the liver of the horse, and excess glucose is converted into fat. Dietary fats and oils are made of triglycerides, a structure made of 3 fatty acid chains attached to a glycerol molecule. They are the building blocks for fats within the horse's body and consist of long hydrocarbon chains. Fatty acids can either be saturated or unsaturated. Saturated fatty acids contain only single bonds between carbon molecules, whereas monounsaturated fatty acids have a single double bond in their carbon chain, and polyunsaturated fats contain multiple double bonds between their carbon molecules. Non-essential fatty acids are synthesized by the horse and include volatile fatty acids, whereas essential fatty acids cannot be manufactured by the horse, so therefore must be supplied in the horse's diet. Fatty acids have 4 main functions in the body. Fatty acids are building blocks of phospholipids and glycolipids. As well as this, they are attached to many proteins. In this way, they are directed to their appropriate place in the membranes, therefore acting as a target molecule. As well as this, they also act as messenger molecules, as the products of fatty acids function as hormones. Proteins are chains made up of 20 amino acids, 10 of which are essential and 10 of which are non-essential. Essential amino acids are those which must be supplied within the horse's diet, and non-essential amino acids are synthesized by the horse. Important essential amino acids for the horse's diet include lysine, threonine, and methionine. Proteins are vital for synthesizing their own internal proteins, not provided by the horse's diet, and also important building blocks for growth and repair. The higher the quantity of essential amino acids found in an individual protein source, the better the quality the feed will be. Proteins have a primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure. The primary structure of protein consists of the sequence of amino acids which forms a polypeptide chain, whereas the secondary structure is the way in which the primary structure of the polypeptide chain folds in what is known as either an alpha helix or beta pleated sheet. In advance to this is the tertiary structure. This is the final 3D protein structure which involves the adjoining of secondary structures by side chains of amino acids. Different types of proteins include structural, enzymatic, transport, immunoglobulins, and those which are responsible for growth and repair. Structural proteins are less active than other proteins. They are found as collagen in the hooves, hair, and connective tissue, and are also the contractile proteins in muscles as actin and myosin. Enzymes are the protein molecules which catalyze chemical reactions within the horse, such as lactase, which aids the breakdown of lactose. They are mainly globular proteins, and their tertiary structure gives the molecule a generally rounded shape, with an active site which shape is independent to any other enzyme. Transport proteins are found in the blood and carry nutrients, in addition to hemoglobin. Functions also include both active and passive transport, which move molecules across the plasma membrane. Immunoglobulins are produced as antibodies in order to fight infection, and are made of glycoproteins, which in turn are produced by white blood cells. Proteins for growth and repair have branched amino acids which are important for said growth and repair. They help to rebuild 3 to 5% of the body's protein every day.
Prehensile lips allow the horse to pick up food and forage, delivering it to the mouth where the GI tract begins, and mastication, a mechanical form of digestion, occurs, which in the equine species triggers production of saliva from the parotid gland. However, in comparison to other mammalian species, the saliva does not contain enzymes, acting more as a lubricant to prevent choking due to the relatively narrow esophagus. In addition to this, it contains sodium bicarbonate, which acts as a buffer to protect the stomach lining. The stomach accounts for 8% of total gut volume, with a capacity of only 8 to 15 litres on average, which means food only remains there for roughly 20 minutes, thus making horses trickle feeders. The stomach contains strong hydrochloric acid, which begins to break down food and activates pepsinogen secreted by the gastric chief cells into the enzyme pepsin, which is responsible for the breakdown of protein. As a result, limited protein breakdown occurs here. No nutrients are absorbed in the stomach. Moving on to the small intestine, which is relatively small compared to the entire GI tract, accounting for only 20% of the overall capacity. Divided into 3 sections, it consists of the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, all of which are lined by villi in order to increase the absorptive surface area. Pancreatic juice, which comes into the duodenum, contains lipases, amylases, and proteases, which allow for the digestion of fats, non-structural carbohydrates, and proteins, respectively. Our cereals are micronized, which means they are cooked and grilled in infrared heat before rolling them, thus making the nutrients within them more readily available and therefore aids in digestion. In addition to this, bile also trickles continuously from the liver via bile ducts, which contains bile salts to emulsify fats, stimulate lipase secretion from the pancreas, and neutralize stomach acid. After digestion, the following are absorbed through the walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream: sugars, amino acids, minerals such as calcium, and vitamins A, D, E, and K. Additionally, fatty acids and glycerol drain into the lymphatic system. Next is the large intestine, which at a capacity of roughly 100 litres accounts for almost 2/3 of the GI tract. Horses are hindgut fermenters, which refers to the microbial fermentation which takes place in the cecum of the large intestine. Structural carbohydrates and thus fibrous material passes all the way through the digestive system to the cecum. Microbial fermentation of fibre produces volatile fatty acids such as acetic, propionic, and butyric, which are used as a slow-release energy source, amino acids, and B vitamin complexes, which are absorbed in the cecum. The large intestine accounts for 30% of protein digestions, 15 to 30% of soluble carbohydrate absorption, and 75 to 85% of structural carbohydrates. Following the cecum is the colon, where water, electrolytes, and short-chain fatty acids are absorbed.
If the horse is not adequately hydrated, it will influence the horse's overall performance and impact on the functioning of the digestive system. Water is lost through feces, urine, sweating, and expiring air. Carbohydrates consist of 2 types in the horse's body: structural and non-structural. An imbalance can cause loose droppings, colic, laminitis, and gastric ulcers. Any more than 2 grams of lactose in the feed can cause these digestive disturbances. Fats and oils are a concentrated energy source. They have 2 to 3 times more energy content than a cereal feed. Feeding these in high levels will decrease the fibre ingestion rate, and additionally, overfeeding results in weight gain. Minerals. Calcium and phosphorus are needed, both needed for bone growth and design, nerve and muscle function, cell structure, and blood and energy transfer. These can be lost through sweat. Magnesium and sodium are the main electrolytes and are rarely deficient in the horse. If there is a deficiency, it will be with horses with a high grain, low forage diet. There are claims that doses of magnesium have a calming effect on excitable horses. Potassium is needed for regulating the amount of water within cells. A lack of potassium in the cell is of little concern. Copper manufactures bone and cartilage and produces hormones. Deficiencies will affect the horse's bone development and cause the coat to become discoloured. Vitamins are subdivided into 2 groups. Fat-soluble vitamins will be affected if the horse has any diseases or abnormalities that affect metabolism. Water-soluble vitamins that are not stored in the body, so therefore must be obtained through diet to avoid deficiency. Vitamin A is important for the horse's vision, and toxicity is more likely than a deficiency. A large amount can affect bone structure, hair and skin condition, and muscle tone. A deficiency of vitamin D is rare in horses but can result in poorly mineralised bones and swollen joints. An excessive amount could also calcify blood vessels, heart, and other tissues. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant, and high levels appear to have a calming effect on the horse.
As horses age, their ability to digest and absorb food and nutrients becomes less efficient. A senior horse should have the body scoring of around 5 or 6 out of 10. Feeds such as Salutem have a nutritional element to ensure they're receiving all the vital nutrition that is required for a healthy aging horse. Feed should contain between 2 to 4% fat in order to help maintain the healthy balanced diet. The essential fatty acids within the feed are an important part of a senior's diet as it provides them with the important minerals such as omega-3 and 6. Omega-3 being more prominent in the feed as it acts as an anti-inflammatory that helps reduce joint pain, especially due to the old horse being prone to arthritis. Omega-6 plays a vital role in immune response, which becomes weaker as the horse ages. Salutem includes a high protein percentage, which will greatly help with the horse's remaining years. By feeding the senior horse a high-quality source of protein such as soybean meal found in the Salutem will help with maintaining a good body condition scoring. The typical intake of protein for a senior horse should be between 12 to 14%. The high percentage of proteins found in Salutem will ensure the horse provide with the suitable amino acids such as lysine and methionine, which are important for metabolic functions, muscle maintenance, and hoof quality. Salutem's high fiber content is important as it's a vital component of horses' balanced diet. Typical feed should include a minimum of 50% fiber in the horse's diet to keep the digestive system active and fully functional. The high fiber in the diet helps to improve the functions of the digestive system and maintain the overall health of the digestive tract, which degrades over time. Fibers help to prevent heart disease, diabetes, weight gain, and a variety of cancers which are very common in senior horses. Salutem's high percentage of nitrogen-free extract is well suited for the aging horse due to the efficiency of the digestive system lowering. The high fiber diet in the aging horse of around 20% allows for a greater intake of starches and sugar, thus aiding the efficiency. The soybean found within the feed also provides the horse with restricted calcium source 0.61% and a high phosphorus 0.4 to 0.6%. The enhanced levels of calcium and phosphorus that is found within the senior feed is particularly well suited to help protect against bone demineralization that may occur in aging. Selenium is particularly important for the immune system maintenance of the older horse, and most importantly, it is a vital source of antioxidants for the aging horse. A horse's daily intake of selenium should be a max of 0.1 milligrams per kilogram. Antioxidants have an important role in neutralizing the toxins formed by oxidants of chemical reactions. If these toxins aren't neutralized by the antioxidant, then there is a risk to the cellular structures within the horse due to oxidative stress.